everybody, today we will be learning how to calculate time differences using Excel. Now this will be helpful for any time you have sets of data of your start and your exiting time, and if you want to calculate the time span that happens in between those. This could be for the use of timesheets, or maybe you're trying to figure out when or how long your appointments are, or things of that nature. If you're trying to figure out any kind of time span amount of hours, this will be helpful for you. So, 3 parts we're going to go over today are going to be first parts of an Excel worksheet. So, all the different names that Excel has for different functions of their program. Next, we're going to figure out how to calculate the time differences using a formula. And then lastly, we're going to check our formula to make sure that it functions as we want it to. So the first part will be parts of our Excel worksheet. And we're going to go over some parts right now. So as you can see here, we've got all these letters at the top. These letters are called columns. So we've got our A column, B column, C column, and so forth. Next, on this left-hand side, we have a bunch of numbers. These are called rows. So we've got our row 1, row 2, row 3, and so on and so forth. Now, each of these rectangular parts here on the inside of the worksheet are called cells. And every cell actually has a name. And the names are of a combination of the columns and the rows. So for example, this cell that I've highlighted, name is C2. You can see the name of the cell in this active cell or name box up here. And every time you click a new cell, that cell's name will be in the name box. Lastly, I'm going to talk about the formula bar. So this is the formula bar here. Every time this formula bar is activated and you type whatever you want in there, it's actually going to auto-populate into that cell as well. You can also, if you wanted to, double-click in the cell itself and edit it as such, and the changes should also reflect in the formula bar too. Next, we are going to now calculate the time differences using a formula. So as you can see here in column A and column B, I do have some data that is already here, and we've got our entering date and time and our exiting date and time, and then we are trying to figure out the time difference in hours. So I want to see how many hours had elapsed between our A set and our B set. In order to do that, we're going to first activate our cell that we want to have the difference show up in. I'm going to go to the formula bar right here and click the equal sign on my keyboard. Now I'm going to open up my parentheses, and I'm going to click the most recent date and time stamp. Then I'm going to subtract from this time the entering time so that we can see how much time has elapsed between the two numbers. And I'm going to go ahead and close our parentheses. Now, since we want it in hours, I'm going to put a multiplication sign and 24 to represent 24 hours of a day. So once I hit the enter key on my keyboard, it should auto-populate into the amount of hours. Now, if I were to click on the cell, you can see in the formula bar, it will still show our formula, but in the cell itself, it will actually have the calculation of what we had put in there. So this is a way to check to make sure your formula is saying what it needs to say, or it's saying what you want it to say, and Excel will automatically make that calculation for you and show it to you in the cell itself. Now, what about the rest of these guys down here? Now, we could obviously go in and repeat that formula again, but good thing about Excel is Excel tries to make your life easier. So instead of entering in the formula repeatedly for the rest of this data set, we are going to instead hover our mouse over this small square on the right bottom side of the cell, wait for it to make a like skinny plus sign like this, and we're going to double click our mouse and it will auto populate that equation or function or formula rather into the rest of the data set. As you can see here, when it ended the data set, that's when it end down here. So now let's check our work. Now I had put in an easy logical data set, this last one, and it being a full 24 hours, I had make sure it made 24 hours, and it actually auto-populated to be 24 hours. As you can see here, the formula up top does replicate what I want it to subtract, even though we didn't write in that B2 minus A2. Excel does know what you kind of want to do, and it will replicate that. Now, if we were to check as well, so we see that 24 hours is correct here, and then if we click on our formula bar, it'll actually create colors for each of the cells that it's taking. So this B31 replicated in this blue rectangle here, and this A31, this red one, will also replicate in this red rectangle here. So it's telling you where it's pulling this information from, and this is a way to check to make sure that your functions are in the right order, because if it's not in the right order, it might give you a wrong answer. So that is all I have for you today. Thank you for your time and attention, and I will see you next time. Keep excelling.